Hey, I'm Rise. Let's go over Ring of Gundam and find its meaning. So first off, what is it? Ring of Gundam is a short film written and directed by Tomino in 2009 for the 30th anniversary. The film takes place somewhere in the distant future of the Universal Century. We begin with Eiji, a Federation pilot climbing to get to some form of hologram or new type projection, as we've seen before in previous titles like Unicorn. The name of this presence is Beauty Memory. Eiji is told by the presence that she will not reveal the data to him in the current situation, maybe because of mobile suits incoming or something similar to the Laplace program in Unicorn, needing the user to be in the right location. Eiji is told that in order to obtain the data, he would have to travel outside the ring, which seems to be some type of space colony around the moon's orbit. He, along with another character, Glenn, try to make an escape. We don't really know her connection with Eiji or the events taking place. He will end up piloting a mobile suit similar to the original RX-78 and have to fight his own forces. It is revealed that the data Beauty was talking about was the legacy of Amuro Ray, who was the original Gundam pilot. Eiji says that this data can give a hint to save humanity. As for why humanity was in some form of danger is unknown, but we can assume that it's simply in danger from destroying itself, like it usually is. During the earlier stories of the Universal Century, Amuro had grown very wise through all of his conflicts, wisdom which humanity may want in the future. The man who inspired soldiers from different sides in his final moments as he pushed back Axis, thus literally saving the world. This data may simply be a record of his experience, which can teach those living in the time period of the film. Through the battle with his own forces, a power source from one of the enemy mobile suits is hit, resulting in a huge explosion which destroys part of the ring. Glenn goes on about saying it's happening again. This can refer to two things. First, her own memory of experience or reading. It may explain why the rest of the ring looks like it's been damaged before, which most likely is not a result of that one explosion. As for a second, this will lead on to our next point. She could possibly be having tragic memories of events of the past, like when Zeon directly caused a lot of destruction on Earth and in space. Now let's get into this whole memory nonsense I just said. Our protagonist arrives on a ship that contains Beauty Memory. She seems to be held within a cocoon. Glenn says that all of mankind's memories are sealed within her. One key note I want to add are the yellow rings around her. These rings are very familiar. They could simply be something like the Angel Halo from Victory Gundam, which is a Psychomu fortress. Psychomu, as we've seen in the past, allows the user's brainwaves to be translated to their machines, which in many cases allow them to perform incredible feats. So this may be similar to Psychomu of the past, which explains how Beauty was able to communicate with them in the first place while she was in some form of coma or stasis. This would also imply that she is a new type, and by extension, so is Glenn, possibly learning of past events through a new type connection to this cocoon holding Beauty. Beauty talks about how mankind will one day connect to Amuro's legacy, that all memories will be sent to the new world. Key word is the, and not a new world, but the new world. She knows exactly what she is referring to. So, what is this new world? Well, this will lead us to Unicorn. Spoilers incoming. Towards the end of Unicorn, after Banagher stops the colony laser, Marita appears before him to tell him that eventually all of humanity will see what she sees. They will eventually make it over the rainbow. This over the rainbow refers to some form of heaven in the Gundam universe. We know spirits can exist after death and communicate with the living, though if it's only new types, we don't exactly know. In Norse mythology, Asgard is connected to our world through a rainbow bridge, but the spirits of fallen heroes would enter Valhalla, where they await for the upcoming Ragnarok, and they wait for their final, glorious battle. So what awaits a new type over the rainbow? We as viewers and the characters within the show will never know. Banagher almost crossed that bridge. He almost left the physical world. So who is Beauty and how is she able to know about this new world? Beauty is the connection between life and death. Whatever situation she's in allows her to stay and leave the physical world, where she learns all about humanity's memories, specifically the memories of Amuro. What adventure these characters will have, we may never know. This is where the film ends, but the explanation is not over yet. Now, back in 2009 during the New York Anime Festival, Tomino was there and answered a few fan questions and gave us more information about Ring. Tomino created Turn A for the 20th anniversary as a way to tell us that he accepts all alternate realities, which at the time were still fairly new. But with Ring, it essentially did not have to do with the past like Turn A, but simply the future. He made Ring with the intention to ask a question: will humanity and our current mindset last into the future? As well as saying that even dark stories can be made with light. That fantasy is a way of expression, such as a brave knight who fights a dragon. So Gundam is a fantasy, one which shows the dark aspects of the human future, but it also shows hope in the form of light. Here's the kicker, Tomino actually does want to continue the story of Ring of Gundam in a possible movie format, but he would need a studio and investors who would actually work with him, who would not be afraid of him making requests. We'll end here with this. Ring of Gundam can simply be seen as a message from an older generation to a new one. That message is to move on. He did ask us, how will we survive the future? The conflict in order to get to the memories destroyed part of the ring, so was it really worth it looking towards the past? We need to move on beyond what we are now to take on obstacles of a time we living today will never be a part of. As a message for when it comes to the franchise, it may be time to leave Gundam alone, or have it make actual new stories to set whole new standards rather than following the ones it created. As Tomino said at a press conference, new types were not simply a mutation that suddenly appeared. They appeared because they were needed for a new society. So, will you become a new type? I hope you enjoyed my first Gundam Explained video. This was really fun to do, although much of this is just speculation from what we do know. So, what are your thoughts on Ring of Gundam? If there's anything you want me to explain, leave a comment below so I can see what I should prioritize. Thank you for watching.